The Texans are currently the only team in the NFL that has yet to hire a new head coach. The Texans were also the first team to fire their head coach this season back after week 4 back in early October of 2020. Yet they're still sitting here with no head coach. I mean, the other teams, they already made some hires. The Jets, they got Robbie Salami. Who was it? The Eagles got the Colts offensive coordinator who didn't call plays, by the way. So I just throwing that out there. Um, the Lions got some dude from the Saints, and I don't know if you guys saw the little press conference he had, and the dude was talking about biting off kneecaps. I don't even know what Detroit was thinking there. Yeah, the dude looks god awful, but you never know. Who else? The Chargers got, I forgot his name, but the Chargers got the defensive coordinator that was with the Rams instead of getting Brian Dable, who they were kind of in talks with, like it was said that they were gonna get Dable, but then they ended up going with him. Feel like the Jaguars, they got Urban Meyer. Typical Jaguars fashion stuff right there. But yeah, the Texans they're without a head coach. Now, look, here's the thing. The Texans aren't gonna wait this long to hire Jim Caldwell. They're not gonna wait this long to hire, Joe Brady. As much as I love Joe Brady, they're not gonna wait that long to hire Joe Brady. They're not gonna wait that long to hire Marvin Lewis or Matt Eberflus. As much as I love Matt Eberflus, which by the way, Matt Eberflus did end up having an interview with the Texans after declining the interview with the Texans, but Nick Caserio was able to convince him to interview. So that just goes to show the amount of respect that Nick Caserio has around the league. Anyways, though, yeah. What I'm trying to say is the Texans aren't just waiting to hire a guy that's already out there. Like they would have already hired a guy. So and then Brian Dable, the other big name guy, has already said he's staying in Buffalo. Now the Texans are interviewing or did interview Leslie Frazier, but they're not hiring Leslie Frazier, guys. They're not hiring him. The Texans have already gotten their next head coach. That next head coach is Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy will be the Texans' next head coach. I think that is just blatantly obvious. Like, if the Texans already had their guy, they would have already hired him. Like if it was Joe Brady, it would have already happened. If it was Marvin Lewis, it would have already happened. If it was Matt Eberflus, it would have already happened. So I believe, and many other people as well believe, and it makes absolutely perfect sense that Eric Bieniemy is already the coach of the Houston Texans. Like it's already a done deal. It just hasn't been made official yet because Eric Bieniemy is currently on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are currently trying to make a Super Bowl run. So he's trying to avoid, some, I guess, distractions in a way. He doesn't want the players to be like, oh my God, Eric, you're leaving. But I guarantee you, Eric Bieniemy is the next Texans head coach. Why? Well, if you want to make things right with Deshaun Watson, you hire the guy that he wants, and the guy that he wants is Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is, the big name of this coaching carousel this year. If you saw an interview that Bieniemy had a couple days ago, like they asked him about the whole head coaching situation, and he pretty much said that he really wants to be a head coach in the NFL. That's his dream, obviously. But he said it like with the biggest smile ever. But then he went on to say that he didn't like want to bring like any, I guess, distractions. Like, not the exact words, but he did say that right now he was trying to focus on, the team he's on right now, and win the Super Bowl pretty much. So when he said that that was his dream job, he had like the biggest smile in his face. And a lot of people on Twitter, including myself, unfortunately, I am suspended on Twitter, so I can't put my thoughts out there. But I was thinking the same thing. The dude looked way too happy when that question came up. So it led many of us to believe that Eric Bieniemy already has a job as a head coach with your Houston Texans. Now, how do I feel about it? Look, here's the thing. Personally, I wanted Joe Brady. I think Joe Brady's going to be an excellent head coach. But Eric Bieniemy was in my top 3. Like, I had Bieniemy, Brady, and Eberflus as my top 3, but Brady being the one. And then, like, eventually I ended up putting it Brian Dable over Eberflus and Bieniemy, but Dable is going back to Buffalo next year, so the Texans are getting Eric Bieniemy. And how do I feel about that? I mean, when he talks, Bieniemy seems to have like a calming type of persona. Like when you hear him talk, it just calms you down. Like he has a way with words, and I feel that's something the Texans locker room needs right now. They need a guy like that. Now look, the argument about whether he calls plays or not, you can make that argument. I don't really care about it. I mean, there's a chance that Eric Bieniemy might not call plays for the Texans. Like, there's rumors that, since Deshaun Watson wants, what's his name, Tim Kelly to stay here, there's a good chance that Kelly stays here and Bieniemy lets him call the plays. Like, that can actually be a realistic scenario here in Houston. And, I mean, it's not far-fetched because Robbie Salami up in New York with the Jets, yeah, he called plays on defense with the Niners, but he is not calling plays on defense with the Jets. So, Mike Vrabel did the same thing, too. He called plays here in Houston, on defense, and then he went to the Titans his first couple years there. He didn't call the plays, but this year he was forced to because his defensive coordinator retired. So, yeah, like just because, he called plays or didn't call plays doesn't mean he will down here, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like what you're getting with Bieniemy, like, the biggest thing you're getting from him, like, yes, you're obviously going to be getting some of these concepts that the Chiefs use, and, Bieniemy can help Tim Kelly implement, like, a newer, better offense. Like, he's obviously going to help out in that regard. But I feel like his calming nature is what's really going to benefit the Texans. Like, the Texans need a culture change. They went from O'Brien, this hot-headed head coach, yells and screams and apparently fights too. Brock Osweiler fight back in, 2016? Yeah, you're going from that to a very calm, chill guy and Eric Bieniemy. I feel like that's how you change a culture. And not only that, a lot of KC players have also mentioned how, like, when things get tough in KC, like whether it be like in a game or just in life in general, like Bieniemy is always one to help them out because he's been through a lot of adversity in his life. And in football, like, you go through that a lot. Like, like whether you're, down 24-0, and then you feel like the game's over, but you have a guy like Bieniemy who can talk you up, inspire you, and then you go out there and put up 51 points in a row and win 51-31. Yeah, like I feel like that's what you're getting. That's the big thing you're getting from Eric Bieniemy as your head coach, and you know I'm okay with it. I am okay with Bieniemy being the next head coach. I do think he is qualified. I do think he deserves a shot. And the fact that Watson has been, wanting him since probably November, he's been talking about him. I feel like that's good. I feel like that will make Deshaun Watson, want to stay here. He got his coach. Hopefully he gets to keep his offensive coordinator, which, by the way, the Texans let the Jaguars interview Anthony Weaver for a spot on their coaching staff, but they've declined, Tim Kelly interviewing for an offensive coordinator spot elsewhere. So, yeah, Tim Kelly is probably staying here. So he's going to be the OC with Bieniemy probably. Now, whether Kelly or Bieniemy calls the plays, that is yet to be seen. But I do think Eric Bieniemy will be the next coach for the Houston Texans. And like I said, I think it's already a done deal. I just don't think it's been said yet because they're trying to avoid any distractions with the Chiefs and their whole little playoff run. But yeah, I do think Bieniemy is the next coach already. And yeah, those are my thoughts on this whole Texans coaching search thing. Hopefully the Chiefs get eliminated from the playoffs by the Bills and the Texans can finally make the hire official, because it is getting so annoying to be waiting for the coaching hire to be announced. Just announce it already, man. We already know who it is, so just announce it. But yeah, anyways, that's all I have for you guys for today. Comment down below your opinions. Would you approve of a Bieniemy hiring? Would you not? And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.